Testing 1 2. Let's see what we got here. Let's change the title. So welcome y'all. Let's see if this is okay. Okay. Okay, cool. Private chat. Is anybody there? I don't know if this is going live. Let me pull the chat up. Okay, here we go. Chris, I see you there. Okay. I wasn't sure if the stream was live or not. I was waiting to see how it was operating. Let me see if I can see here. This is a new streaming software, so I'm trying to understand it a little bit better. I see that we've got one participant in here. It says the Fearless Man. Chris, are you still there? Go ahead and put some in the chat. It looks like it's just me right now. How's everybody doing? For those of you that are just tuning in, watching this and recording, this is Brian, and coming to you live from Tulum, Mexico. I'm at my hey Lorenzo, good to have you. Hey Igor, coming to you live from my event here, the Energetic Embodiment event here in Tulum. You can see we're in a beautiful space here. This is the actual complex we had the event in. And you can see that we got students over here having breakfast over there. The event's pretty much over now. We're all hanging out together. If we go around, turn around back, we can see the compound back here. And right in here, if I can get my finger in there, I don't know if it'll work, but right in there, that was a movement space there. Over here, we've got the some of the buildings we were living in, and we got a big fire pit right behind me here. Sit here at night, play guitar, do different things. But this event was a lot about movement, and not just movement for the sake of movement, but movement to turn on all the energetics in the body, so you can actually disassociate from all the parts of your body, even holding pain your whole life. Because if you don't know, there's a really good book out there called The Body Keeps the Score that talks largely about the science behind how the body holds all your fears, doubts, worries, everything that holds you back in life. And when you do work like this, you begin to really realize that it's probably one of the fastest paths to healing the body. As you build this body-based awareness, you begin to build this machine that communicates for communication with women, or for some other reason, that communicates from feeling, that communicates from different parts of your body, whether it's your heart, love, whether it's your stomach, your power, whether it's your hips, your turn on, your creative energy, your passion, whether it's your grounding, your stability as a man, your strength. This is why some men, regardless of how much money they have, or whether they're the right height, right looks, seem to do good with women, while other men don't, because they got past all their stories about they're inside the tissues that tell them they're not good enough, and then they become quite magnetic, actually. If you haven't seen Eddie, one of my clients, he's the 5'2" guy, and he was shocked at how many women started to get attracted to him when he made these changes. I have Onell here with me. He's another student of mine who I had brought out here to help out with this event because he's in such feeling now. And his whole life changed as he got more in feeling. He started to, first he was terrified of women, pushed women away, couldn't get a girl to save his life. And within a period of time, he started getting women approaching him and telling him he was hot. And he was shocked by that. He didn't know what to do. And a lot of that has to do with how much you let people in. And this goes not just with women, this goes with sales, this goes with business. Your ability to channel energy in and through a person is everything, and receive a person and feel them inside is everything. It's like, and that's just not just with people, that's life. That's this whole space we're in. By the way, there's one of the most beautiful beaches in the world right over here. on this side of the across this little road, and then over here we have a cenote, which is a space in the ground where a meteor or an asteroid had hit and made a big hole. They say they're spiritual. Supposedly, it's when the dinosaurs got destroyed, and they've filled with water ever since. And it's this super clear, spiritual water, and you meditate in it and swim in it, and yeah, it does seem to have healing effects. It's good for the soul. The one thing I didn't know is when we got here, there was an alligator on our deck. He jumped in the water. I was surprised out here to see an alligator, but they call him. Is his name? I think his name's is it Hugo or is it Poncho? It's Poncho. They call him Poncho, and these people have created an Instagram for him. So he's the only one out there, though. They said he's harmless. But yeah, I just wanted to chat with you guys from this event because I didn't have time to make a YouTube video this week. But I thought, what better opportunity than to have you guys see what I'm doing out here, what it looks like, what it feels like, and what I do around the world. You guys, let me put something in the chat. I just unplugged these headphones. Let me know if you can still hear me, because I don't want to use them. I don't have to. And put some in the chat. Let me know you can still hear it. And so I'm going to keep talking and assume you guys can. If not, I see there's only 13, probably because I did this so early in the morning. So you can enjoy coffee with me. Nobody in LA is awake yet. Are you guys actually hearing me? Put something, like I said, put something in the chat before I continue on, because I don't want to be just rambling away. So let's see. Yeah, good, perfect. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of interesting things. Tulum is a place where they say it either sucks you in or it kicks you out. It sucked me in. It's a very spiritual community. They have like the way to really spiritual people, to people that are partiers, just here for the drugs and partying. It's very peaceful and serene most of the year. It's wild party here, and then it goes back to mostly peaceful. The people that are kind of like the spiritual elite here, they call themselves, or they're often called the Illuminati. They have a certain dress and a look, and it made me laugh. But yeah, it's an interesting place. And the style is a lot like this. They design it to be eco-friendly, in tune with nature. Like in this space here, we got all these units, and then everything is outdoor. The kitchen, we got the dining table, the kitchen, the movement space. So you're basically, and in the living room, you have to come outside, out into this space, and you can go into the living room over here. And it works here because, the weather here, even at its worst, is still awesome. And it allows for you to really get in touch with nature. I'm always talking about sun and grounding, and I've got my bare feet on the ground right now. Every morning since we've been here, we've been catching the daybreak and the sunrise. We go out here to the beach and just stand in the water and watch the sunrise, and you get these beautiful sunrises. And with that, you get a lot of healing too, because you get electrons from the earth, you get infrared rays from the morning sun, you get melatonin production from the morning sun, you get from the UVB in the midday. If you get the right amount of that, you get the POMC production, which is another hormone that's super healing to the body. It's a big part of healing, and they call it energetic medicine. It actually makes, if you're eating a certain diet and the food's not kicking for you, it could be this. People that get really obsessed over the energetics of the sun and nature, they actually develop healthy mitochondria, and the mitochondria then become energy machines for the body. They produce tons of energy and begin to allow the body to operate better. People say suddenly their food cravings go down, but their energy goes through the roof. They lose tons of weight. And these guys, they were resistant to it when they first got here. I'm like, let's get up with the sun, guys. But they all did it. Every fucking day they did it. And now they're addicted to it. They're like looking forward to getting on that beach in the morning and doing the movement work, the embodiment work, getting the energetic work in that. And it is a lot of glad. They say it's a lot like Bali people sometimes go back and forth. There's a different vibe to both, but similar idea, similar energy. That's a little bigger here, I think, than Bali. I might have that wrong, but But I haven't been to Bali. My first Bali trip was right before COVID. When COVID hit, I canceled it because I didn't want to sit in there quarantined for a week. But yeah, it's a lot like Bali in that sense. So, but the energy here, yeah, it either pulls you in or spits you out, and that's true. I could see a lot of people who wouldn't be able to handle a place like this. They would get burned out. They would get tired. So what I want to do today is I want to talk a little bit with, if I can find him, Onell. Anybody know where Onell is? He's supposed to. I wanted to have. Hmm? He said somebody went and looked, said he wasn't. He was supposed to be here for the interview. So if you can find him, or if anybody wants to come over and talk, you're more than welcome. But the idea is to talk to you guys about this experience from a perspective of somebody else, somebody that's gone through the process that I put people through versus from me, and what results it's gotten in their life, what they're seeing, how different it is. Because I still don't know anybody that does this work except for me. I know one person that does work similar to it. He learned from the same teacher as me, but we both developed in a different direction. I've been developing this work for close to 20 years, since meeting my teacher, and I don't know where he learned it from. And I've just completely worked on redeveloping it. So I don't even look at it as embodiment anymore. I look at it as energetic management, learning to allow energy to flow through the body. It's really about not physically embodying, but going beyond the physical embodiment into becoming embodied into your energetic self, the self that animates the physical body. And when you separate from the physical body and get identified with the energetic body, which is more free, it lives high up in cap all the time, you begin to create reality the way you want. See, the physical body will just create what it sees over and over again if you're identified with the physical body. But when you're identified with the energetic body, what happens is, as the energetic body takes form, Neville Goddard says you got to live as if it's already happened to you, that it's part of who you are. And as that energetic body takes form and starts to hold this new reality, which was what we're playing with the last few days, in form, not as if, but it literally has already happened in the energetic realm, the unmanifested realm. And you can see it, feel it, touch it. It has density to it, has weight to it. Then what happens is then the physical reality wants to recreate itself, usually over time, because physical's dense, right, into the shape of the energetic reality, which, if you look at it, we do this in society. We create a blueprint. We graph it out on computer screens. We create models. We see it. We experience it. Everybody gets on the same page. And then we bring it into physical reality over time. And the more conscious a being is, the more energetic they are, the faster it moves from this energetic reality to this physical reality. And this is dating life, sex life, money, wealth, health. And at a deeper level, there's something magical that happens beyond everything I just said as far as what you get. What you get is great, but you begin to realize at a certain point that that's just a means to an end. The real thing you get, if you really get good at this, is happiness, joy, love. You begin to live as if you don't need these manifestations anymore. That's what makes them come to you so easy. They're just enjoyable to express, like creating art and then letting it go. But you can be happy with or without it. If you love painting but you're not attached to it, you can paint today and have a great time. But you could go to the beach today and have a great time. You could just sit and meditate and have a great time. You don't need these things to complete you, and that's what makes you so attractive to the outside world, to receiving, to experiencing. And you start living in a world of being and having, which is so much more pleasurable. You're not constantly chasing a new experience. You're not constantly chasing a new idea. Hey, there you are. I was like, where's it? What? You want to take a shower? He probably heard me yelling. He's like, oh shit, I'm late. So he's coming around the cameras here. By the way, you see all the cameras here. More cameras. The cameraman. We got a shot of him getting a shot of me. See that? It's a cool shot. And there's gonna be lots of footage from here. This is Onell. Say hi, Onell.
Hey, what's up?
Okay, say hi. Say hi back. You can see the chat right here. And
Yeah.
it's a small group, right? 26 and growing. It was a last minute announcement, and I started too early for the people in LA. They're not out of bed yet,
Yeah.
so they'll have to watch it in rewind or rewind. God, am I dating myself? They'll have to watch it on YouTube later. I said tape earlier today too. I'm starting to sound like an old man. So and now, see, there you go. There's your first.
Yeah, Chris.
Hey.
Hi, Chris.
So a lot of these people are regulars. They come on here all the time. I've seen Chris on here before. Tough Guy Steve. I think I've seen you on here before too, buddy. And so what I want to ask you, I'm going to move this mic over so you can be heard, and let's adjust the shot. Let's turn your chair in a little. So you're towards the camera. There we go. Now we look like we're hanging out together. Now I invited you out because you've worked with me in the past. You did a bunch of work with me, but I invited him out to help out this time too, because he's done so well with his life. He's changed so much. And I said, just come out and hang out and be a grounding element for all the new guys to help them to open their bodies, to grow. My therapist recommended me your contact. Who's your therapist? Can you tell me, or are you comfortable? I'm kind of curious. I wonder if I know who it is. That's awesome. I like your therapist. Tell whoever it is I said hi. And so you did so well. I remember your first. This workshop's the energetic embodiment, which is wholly different than anything I've ever seen out there. We do work really intense, guys. We step into a lot of tension and then learn to make it smooth like butter so it becomes flow. We experience a lot of density of the now. We're diving into these energies and feeling them, grounding them, containing them, channeling them. And so he's been learning to do that. He's doing a fantastic job. But I always remember your first energetic embodiment. I remember how you came in there and you looked glossed over like you'd smoked a joint to some degree, right?
Right.
Do you remember that feeling?
Yeah, exactly. Funny enough, I didn't notice it. Probably like a lot of you guys, you think you're normal, but I had this numb look, especially in the eyes, where I would go really wide, and I would look like I'm, not really there.
Do you think you can do it again?
It's kind of hard to do it now. I'm so embodied now, so it's hard for me to reenact it, but I can try.
Yeah, give it a shot. I want to see if I
Try
can see it. Part of being the T. Yeah, that's you're getting there. Yeah, you see how there's a sense he glosses over in the eyes, like a zombie almost. That is how he was living life all the time. So when people looked at him, it was like hitting heaviness. So there was no emotional reaction in his eye contact. There was no emotional reaction for me if I look at him. I'm like, I can't feel this guy. It's a way to keep other people from feeling what you're feeling inside if you don't want to be exposed.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
So to share more about that, so you came in, you had this numbed look, and I think was I pretty hard on you that day?
Yeah, well, it felt like it. Because when you pointed out, like, look, like, you can't feel anything, you can't start from this point because it was hard to make any adjustments. If this is shut off, nothing else works. So in order to, to start making adjustments, you have to first get this part on. So I was like, we can't even get past anywhere until I make the change.
It's like I look at it the way he's pointing here, and that's where the prefrontal cortex is, and that's in spirituality we'd say third eye, right? But that prefrontal cortex, if it's not on, the whole rest of the body, the heart, the stomach, all the power centers that you move from, talk from, are basically, they could be good, but they're just ineffective because think of this as the command center that tells all this what to do. So if I duplicate what he did there for a second, I'm going to get in the camera a little bit. If I could duplicate, it's like, I'm going to go wide. And I'm really tuned in out here, almost kind of but numb at the same time. Everything's blurry. There's a sense of, looking at people, and you just, nothing goes in. I can't feel it go into my own body. I don't even feel myself well. And so it's difficult. Numb apathy. Yeah, numb apathy is a good way to put it.
Yeah, exactly.
Tough Guy Studios.
That's exactly what it is.
A lot of these guys have done the releasing courses and things like that. Hey, Ryan, what's up, buddy? Good. Ryan was a student. God, how long ago were you a student of mine, Ryan? It's been over 10 years, right? Right around 10 years, maybe. But he was, a long time ago. So continue on. So what do we do about it? I got on you. I said, if you want to get, I probably said something about like, if you want to get the most of this workship, you need to turn that fucking thing
exactly.
on.
It was actually, you were saying you got to show up.
Mm-hmm.
You got to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember leaving that night. We ended about 7:38, and I went back to the hotel.
I gave you something to do to turn it on.
Yes. You gave me the instructions. Pretty much now what it is the heart walk, but you told me to do conduits with just anything. And just to hold it. If the focus would go wide, bring it back in. If it would go wide, bring it back in. And I went back to the hotel that night and just practiced until about 2 a.m. in the morning. 2 a.m. And I remember coming back in the next morning, and immediately you noticed it. Immediately, you're like, look, he looks different. And since then,
2 a.m. is no joke. You took it seriously, which a lot of students don't. I have to push them 2 or 3 times before they actually take action.
Right.
Sometimes a little while. But you did it, and that's how fast we can make a change if we're committed to the tension.
Right.
Now, this is really cool. So you came in the next day, you're feeling. Do you remember the exercise we did yesterday with the wrist, and we were getting down to that pinpoint of energy and how tense it got, and it pulled all this energy through your body? Do you remember that?
Yes.
This was basically the same idea. You were pinpointing that energy so tight, you were forcing yourself into courage, holding the state, and then probably taking a break because your mind would be like, oh, that's too much. Then you come back and do it again, and then eventually there's a pop, and then there's this point you probably went to sleep, woke up, and you're like, fuck, I can see better. Or what was it like when you woke up? I never asked you that.
It was exactly that. It's like I was looking around and everything looked different. Vibrant, the colors were different. I could just after being that numb and seeing the contrast, it just felt like I could see in a sense. It didn't feel like I was blind, like I was actually looking at something, and it was giving me an emotional response back. Like I actually was able to connect. So it just felt like I was blind for a second, or blind for years, and now I'm able to see.
Yeah, that's badass. And I'm surprised I never asked you that question. I love that because I had the same thing. When I went to my teacher Carl, he kept saying you're blind. He was trying to show me. So one of the things I probably did with you that he did with me is that he would go into the numbness and out of the numbness, into the numbness and out, and I would watch him, and that's what finally clued in for me. I'm watching him. Oh, I can feel him. Just kind of see these eyes, and then the eyes are gone, and then see him zombie-like, see him. I was like, okay, now I got an idea. I felt an idea what it looked like, and I had to work really hard, like you did,
exactly,
to get it to turn on.
Yeah.
Now, what did that change for the rest of learning, embodiment, personal growth in general, shifting your reality? What did that cause to have happen in your life?
Well, now I was able to, let the world affect me and walk through life. It changed everything. For one, just interacting with people, letting the tension come in on a day-to-day life, just the biggest thing for me was interacting with people, and seeing, being able to connect with people and let them see my vulnerability on me, and
so let's play with that word really quick. There's so many YouTubers that teach guys dating and don't be vulnerable. And I know what they mean by that. They're right if it comes from neediness, if your vulnerability is out of pleading and neediness, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Not at all.
And can you talk about how that's changed your life?
It's authenticity it's just a real you. It's allowing yourself to be seen in the most natural way. It's like it's not neediness at all. You're allowing yourself to be seen, be you, the real you, the comfortable you, without trying to manipulate somebody else, or trying to get something out of it. You're just being you and you're showing it. It's like giving a gift, you
Yeah.
know, really.
Yeah, that's 100%. And vulnerability, when done proactively, is not needy, it's strength.
Hmm.
It goes from needy, reactive, to total strength and power, because now you're owning your emotions and you're still feeling them all, which allows people access to you, to trust you. And when somebody sees you handle an emotion well, fear, doubt, worry, and you handle it well, even if you have to cry a little bit, but just, I got it, I can do it,
Yeah,
it magnetically pulls them in.
it does.
And have you had that experience?
For sure. A lot of that. Um, I was telling you about that experience on our way here to this trip. And well, for one, too, it gives the person that you're interacting a safe space for them to be themselves too. Because you drop down your walls, they drop down theirs too. And on the way here, I was telling Brian this story that on my way to like the walkway to get on the plane, there was this lady as I was waiting in line, and I forgot how the conversation started, but we just started chatting, and she was talking about going to see a brother of hers who was badly sick or whatever, and she just started crying, and I was locked in with her, and I just held that space. You know, we're just it's like the own little bubble. We just started talking, and she was just like, you know, you have. She did mention, oh, you have a big heart, which is something I
Mm.
always got a lot. And she was just
After
like,
the eyes turned on or before?
this was after the eyes turned
Okay.
on, and she was just like, thank you, you know, because that vulnerability she was able to see, you know, because I didn't judge her for it. I was just in that space with her, and it just allowed her to be herself and open up to me,
It's beautiful.
you know.
It's beautiful. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to help each other heal at a deep level. Sure, I want you guys to get women, but I want you guys to help everybody heal. I want men and women to heal and have a great time together, not try to conquest each other. It's a whole different idea. 10 years ago, when Fearless first started, hey, Ryan, it's awesome to have you, man. Hopefully the drumming's still going well. I know Ryan was a really good drummer.
Uh-huh.
It was funny. You mind if I'm going to tell your story, Ryan. It's not nothing too personal. I remember Ryan coming, and he was not feeling much and dissociated in the body. We did a lot of work to get him associated. This is before I even have half the techniques I have now. And and then we saw him drum on stage, and he went into his body drumming.
Oh,
And we were like, fuck, he's a good drummer. Like, he becomes a whole different human being. And so I don't remember exactly how we did it. We wanted to help him embody the being that's him drumming in his everyday life, walking, talking. And I remember that was a big part of your process. Yeah, you're awesome. Are you still in one of those big bands that you were doing a cover band for? Like, was it Pink Floyd or was it somebody like that, right? It would be fun to see you play somewhere at some point. But post it in here if you do, if you're in a band or you got something people can follow or do go out and meet you, things like that. That would be awesome, dude. You're more than welcome to put it in the chat. So as time went on and you started to work on then approaching, and you were gently approaching, you weren't doing this aggressive, you were learning to feel each approach and take it slow and be present with each approach, but consistent, right?
yeah, exactly.
And you started to get better and better responses from the approaching because you were learning to, well, you tell me, what your body was changing from the embodiment in a way that made the approaches do what was happening?
Well, like I mentioned, it was the connecting, allowing myself to feel the emotions. I was feeling a pop in my chest, a warm feeling, because I was associating approaching with pain in the beginning.
That makes you not want to do it anymore. Yeah.
Right. And then as I kept doing it, it started becoming fun, and I started finding this nice feeling when I would approach. And it made approaching easier and easier and easier as I kept going and kept doing it. And you know, soon after, I got into a flow state, and it just all became easy, really. You know.
Perfect. Yeah, it's that pain pleasure principle. When you really associate the tension with pleasure, you really get it. Like like you got into working out at some point because you associated the tension of working out with pleasure. And so
Right.
workouts for you became meditative, pleasurable. You said you loved the pump.
Mhm.
It wasn't just about the aesthetics, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so same thing, when you can associate the tension of the approach with turn on and pleasure just a little bit each day without over burning yourself out, without taking it too far, and then leave yourself wanting more, it starts to build in you and you start to develop an addiction to it, or pleasure. I hate the word addiction, but
Mhm.
my buddy Robbie, he said he's approached a lot of women in his life, man. He's off the trail, he's married now, but he's like, yeah, he says, when I approach, after about 3 approaches, if I go out one day, he says, it's like I'm on ecstasy.
Yeah.
Because I get so high. And it made me laugh. I was like, yeah, that's cool. So the next piece, you got so good at approaching that you told me some really good experiences with women starting to approach you.
Yeah.
Tell that story. You've never had that before?
Never had that before. Never had that where they were letting me know, you know, of my presence, so and how much they like me. And that was during the 6 month. Actually, we were having these.
I have a 6-month online program, and then live events like this that are week longs, where we get to go deep in really small group. This is 7 guys, deep work. You know, everything's catered: food, room, transportation. It's royal treatment here. So, okay, continue on.
Yeah. So during the 6 month, you were giving me these tasks that I would have to complete for the week. You know, and one of them was going out and approaching, going out to a bar, club, and being in more high tension areas. And it just started going well in these bars, these clubs. It was just going very good. But the next day, I remember I was on the phone talking with Landon. I was just telling them about the experience. Everything was just flowing. Everything just became easy, no effort at all. And I'm on the phone with Landon, and I'm just talking, and this car drives by halfway, and I'm not even paying attention. I just hear a girl yells out, "You're fucking hot!" And I look, I'm like, "Oh, okay, thanks." And then I just continue walking my dog back into my neighborhood. I'm walking around. There's this lady on her bike, and she stops me, and she's like, "Do you know how handsome you are?" And I was like, "Okay, what's going on?" All of a sudden, this is happening back to back to back to back and in sync. And I was like, I noticed it. It was my flow state, and my field was getting bigger, that people were noticing me. So
Yeah.
it kept happening.
Yeah. And then you hit a little bit of an upper limit problem, right?
Yeah.
So we got to put the good with the bad, right? So the upper limit problem is when you start to get success, and then it scares you because, oh shit, now I have to actually show up for these women. I have to show up. I have to actually go on dates. I have to actually pay the IRS. I'm making money. I have to actually be responsible for what I'm creating. And it's just usually it's unconscious, and we start to get anxious about our success. So you stop wanting to approach and start pushing women away or something like that. If I have that right, I don't want to put words in your mouth. So I've been doing that. So go ahead and.
No. I just kind of slowed down. I was just like, it got so good that I was like, okay, hold on, let me take this all. Let me take this all in, and just slow down approaching and going out a little bit.
Yeah. So now I invited him here. This is the second time I've invited him out to help with events because with the new company, the Brian Bayesian company, which we're building it all out. It's going to get bigger and bigger. You're going to see the new website, brianbayesian.com. Brian Begin, BEGIN.com. TrueCourage.io is still forwards to that. You're going to see lots more about these events, the online programs. We're going to have 3 levels of online programs, and I want to have onell. The reason I say all that, I want to have onell involved in some way because he's really embodying the feeling a lot, and he's doing a great job of it. And I love what we're building. I'm building it slow and methodically. Of course, the Fearless Man is gone. I gave the website to my old business partner, so he's got that. I'm not sure what he's going to do with it. So, but I'm not associated with that anymore. That's why we're going to change the name of the YouTube channel from the Fearless Man 2. I'll probably just be Brian Bayesian something. I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe I'll call it True Courage. So let's talk really quick, take some questions because we got to do a bowl therapy. We're going to all do sound therapy on the deck out here, and it's going to be awesome. But and I kind of want to show you. We got a moment. I can walk around and show you some shit.
Yeah. Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Really quick. because it keeps getting better and better the way you're doing these
Yeah.
live events, and I'm noticing how much the scene around us is changing. Is that consciously?
You mean like the
Mi-
space
the
is getting more?
space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that's conscious. I want you guys to realize you create abundance. So to do that, I have to create abundance.
Mm.
So I create abundance and put you guys in abundance, and not just the abundance of women, but the abundance of life, and let it flow through you and show you if you surrender, life will take care of you. And there's ways to understand how that works. Not making money is resistance to money. Maybe you need a skill set, but that should be easy to learn and quick. If you didn't have the resistance in the stories, same with women. If you didn't have all the resistance in stories, you go figure out women quick. So it's all resistance and a push in our body. And so when you come here, it forces you to face all that and places this beautiful flowing with energy, free, and how we create all this and how we bring this abundance into our life. And so I wasn't doing it to the degree I wanted to with Fearless. That's part of another reason I let Fearless go. I wanted to create something that was about way more than just women. And then as you start to expand this reality and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you realize the women, just a tiny little piece.
Yeah.
And most of you guys, after you start to get in the embodiment anyways, you start to work on this area. The women thing just kind of fades into the background. You're like, whatever, I want more. There's so much more.
Exactly.
There's so much more to life than just chasing girls. And yeah, you still have women in your life, but now it's like, oh yeah, I can always go meet women, and it's very different than I have to get women. I'm lonely, and we want to get past that.
Right.
And so these are bonding experiences. So everybody bonds. We have this deep. We step in all that tension together, like people out in combat, but we do it in a healthy way, right? And so yeah. So to me, that's intentional. And I'll play with different versions of it as we go. And keep evolving it. And I want some bigger events in beautiful spaces too, where I can bring 100 people at a much lower cost. So I want all levels of access for you guys, from the YouTube channel being free up to simple programs, up to if you guys want to do really deep work on the beach in a multi-million-dollar mansion, I want that too. You guys choose the level with which you believe you can create, and then you create it. And if you want to get to a higher level of creation in your life, we can talk about the resistance that allows that keeps that from coming into being. And that's going to be in the body. That's the embodiment piece, right? So it's going to be about a lot more than money. Let's take
a few questions at the time.
Yeah, there's one here I wanted you to answer. It's just a simple question. And I know you got some. It was about what is, and we got to go because our Natalia's going to be here in a couple minutes to do our therapy class on the yoga deck here. What is tension? Can you explain more about tension here? Put it on the screen. Can you explain more about tension when approaching? What do you mean by tension exactly? And I'll let you explain that because I've got a million YouTube videos on this, Miguel.
Yeah.
But everybody that explains it a little differently.
Yeah.
So, and we got to look at it from every angle. So.
Yeah. Okay. So tension when approaching is that feeling that you're getting during the approach, that anxiety or that resistance, that would be the tension. It's the feeling that you're getting trying to do that thing that feels like it's holding you back or you have some resistance to. That's that tension, and that's what you want to step more into and channel and ground and be with more.
Yes, and tension. Think of tension like tension can be good or bad. Too much tension can overwhelm you. Too little tension will bore you. We need tension. We have gravity for a reason. Mm-hmm. The body atrophies without gravity. We lift weights to build muscles. That's tension. Sexual tension can be exciting where you step in with somebody. So when I go make tension with eye contact and you stare in somebody's eyes too long, if I'm pushing, that's going to create negative tension. If I'm letting the person in and receiving them, that's going to create more positive tension. Tension that's positive tends to, when you go in, it's resistant, and then as it opens, like as the tension from a knot opens to just the right amount, it turns into flow like a hose, and then inside the hose is the feelings, the emotions, the vulnerability, guided from one place to another.
Yeah.
So as I look at Onell, if I come in with a lot of tension, it's like this, and I'm looking at him. There's no space for vulnerability between us because I'm all energy this way, trying to get into his reality by pushing with my eyes. But if I look at Onell and I start to I create a connection to him, so there's tension going to him, and then I relax back and I feel my heart and start opening, and I drop into my stomach a little, and I'm letting him in. I'm letting him see who I am inside. Now there's a flow from him to me, and he can do the same, and we can have this nice flow back and forth where we're not just getting to know each other with our words, our facial expressions, but literally the energies inside our bodies are exchanging information like the internet.
Right.
You know, data is being downloaded in the background of your computer the whole time you're using it. And that allows her to relax and feel safe because she can feel your heart now, right? She can feel your motivations, and she relaxes and feels more safe. Right. So powerful. I thought they were saying something. Okay. So that's the beauty of tension, the flow of tension. I'm always unpacking the tension to get it to flow. To get to flow state or flow in general, I think flow state is a state you get to when you're in your head a lot. You force yourself. And I believe flow is a state we ultimately live in. It's no longer a state. It's the place we ultimately live when we've surrendered enough that we're flowing through life. And as the tension unpacks itself, with every bit of tension, I'll go in a little too much and then back off, balance, like walking on a slack line, until I find that sweet spot that flow starts to happen from me to the person, from me to the activity, from me to the business. And I'm constantly working in every area of my life as it gets bigger to create flow, bits of flow, mini flow in all those areas, so that my life, I can get into flow pretty easily. So, and that's what happens is you start to get a life like you, Onell, where it gets into flow and starts to get easy. And then sometimes, and tell me if this has happened to you, you don't want to rock that boat. That's true. I make it bigger again, I'm gonna have to deal with some tension and open it into flow again. Let me, and it's a pretty cool place to be. Either. It's just before it's all that. It's feels when an employer fires you, when a hot woman is hard to take moment, your resistance would be tension. Like if it's in the past and you're thinking about it, that's stress. Do you want to? Is there anything you want to say about that?
No, I agree completely. Okay. It would be the moment of what you're feeling.
Yeah.
You know, because if you're thinking about it, it'd be you're just stressing. It's not really.
Yeah. So what am I feeling now?
Right.
Am I stressing over the fact that I didn't work out, or can I just go lift a few weights and feel that tension of the weights, which is in the now?
Right.
Right. And stress is like this conceptual thinking, frustrated bullshit from the future and the past, and it's not good for the body. Now, if you stress, if you, and this is all semantics. If you refer to I'm stressing the body with weights, now we're back in. So it's semantics.
How about the second part of that question?
Oh, what was the second part?
The
hot woman in the bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
more now.
Well, you're in resistance to the tension now, but if I'm scared to talk to her and I pull back, there's tension. I'm stressing about it, thinking about it. That's what a lot of guys do. They sit there and think about it. Then there's the tension of actually stepping into the tension and moving towards her and saying some words, and that's the now tension. The choice to move into the tension, or the stress of sitting there and mulling over what you could or couldn't do. So do you want to add to that?
No, I agree. It's kind of hard to follow up. You explain it so
I've been doing this a long time. Yeah, I want you to get this stuff so you can teach it to people too. It becomes a part of you and you don't even think about how you do it. And so
Vlad.
Okay, there's that one. Okay. So we got one or two more. So I just want to say we'll go to Vlad. Vlad's always on here, so he deserves a good question.
All right.
It's easy to approach beautiful women, but it's hard for me to approach anyone else. I feel that's interesting. I feel judgmental or just not interested in talking to regular people, which makes it impossible to connect. Interesting. Yes, well, that's not really a question. That's more of a statement. And I don't know that I can clearly answer that question. Do you have any idea?
Yeah,
Because
it's,
I have an idea of what it could be, the many things, but without talking to you, Vlad, I don't know for sure.
no, it's just funny how perspective things change. Cause see, he it sounds like Vlad is very comfortable with beautiful women. I would be curious to see what does he feel with everybody else. Like, it's hard for me to approach him like why, you know. Usually
Yeah.
for most men, it's just the beautiful women. There's a lot of tension in that. So,
Yeah.
but it's hard, why? I want to see. I'm curious about that.
Well, some people, I do know a guy that was terrified. He was a former gigolo, spent his whole life making women feel beautiful. And around women, he was immensely comfortable. Okay. Around men, he was completely insecure.
Oh, okay.
He'd get around men and he's like, I'd rather. And you get around women and he just relaxed. So it's your associations in your brain, right?
Right.
It's what you tell yourself. Everybody's actually interesting and beautiful. And if you learn to let everybody in, life just gets so much easier and more beautiful. And then it's so much easier to meet women too, because people you're not attracted to will introduce you to people you're attracted to. Women that are beautiful are watching the way you treat other people. Right. Everything flows and interacts like beautifully. But yeah. So cleaning up those associations is something I would want to do. That's something you got to decide if you want to do with regular people, as you put it. And we're not going to show embodiment exercises because we got to go do a class here in 12 minutes. And let me check, see if the teacher's messaged me. She should be here soon. There she is. I'll leave that up.
Body chakra.
Okay. You want to do this one?
Yeah, let's look at that.
This is Ryan Gaines, the drummer.
Okay.
When Lester Levinson said, if you could just stop your thinking, quiet your mind, you see you're the totality of the universe. It feels into the body, is feeling into the body / chakras, the process of quieting the mind. What do you think?
Yeah, because you got to get into the body to once you're more in your body, then that's how you know you're less up here. You're less up here. So,
but can you go too far? Can you go into the body and isolate?
Yes, that is true. That can happen.
Yeah.
That can definitely happen.
So what happens is if we start going in and pushing this reality away and making this reality wrong, then we get stuck that way and we could become heavy inside. You have to let everything flow. You open everything and let everything flow through you and cycle. And that's when you become more and more less identified with the body and more of the realizing you're the flow of everything that is coming in and out of form, or the nothingness that's even watching that. It's like, depends on the layer you're looking at. You actually start to go more free. You start to become happier and more joy, more peace. You're the totality, as Lester would say, of everything that is at that point. Have you had that experience a little bit or a lot? Or
yeah, I have. I actually, I love to meditate a lot. So
you said you shut your eyes and 2 hours goes like that?
Yeah. I'll be in a deep, deep bliss. And then I'll go to check the time again, and it's 2 hours later, you know. And
I love that shit. Who needs mushrooms? Is there ever? This is a good question. Let's do this one. We'll end on this one. Is there ever a place, time, or situation to use pure willpower, or would it be considered force?
Yeah, I mean, if it's out of choice.
Yes, if it's out of choice, your heart will be open.
Yeah.
You'll be making a courageous decision and willing. That's the correct use of denial or tension. That's like we did with the wrist, where we willed the consciousness really tight and all that energy shot through the body.
Yeah.
But if the heart's closed, there's no place for the energy to go. It builds up and it just creates an ultimate crash. Right. So that's a little more abstract. It takes some actual physical practices to understand. But yeah, see, willpower if you do it from courage, you can create all kinds of shit. You can become a willpower machine, but eventually, hopefully, you even grow beyond that, where you don't have to use as much willpower. You relax into it more, and that can happen too. Hey, Simone. Simone's in Bucharest. You know Simone, right?
No, I don't think I know.
He's helped me out with my last events in Bucharest. He's a client. He's a cool dude. Look forward to seeing you again soon in Bucharest when I get back out there. Okay. Didn't you think think that you would be? Well, I'll just comment on this one.
Mhm.
Didn't you think you would be doing some kind of online mentoring for people from other parts of the world? I do. I have online programs. I
Yeah.
run these longer 6-month trainings and coaching practices all the time. They're going on right now. So a lot of these guys are from that, and some of these guys are just doing the week long. And there's going to be 3 different levels of it, and it's all going to be badass. Go to brianbajan.com. It's an old website right now, brianbegin.com, but we're going to replace it with a real nice, sleek, beautiful website. It's going to have all this stuff listed, and yeah, that's an ongoing program. I don't know if that's what you were saying. Sounds like it was. Okay, guys, I can't take any more questions. It's good to have you on here. There's 38 of you right now. You guys rock. We have to get ready for our sound healing therapy because everybody's worked really hard this week. So now it's a chance for them to gel and dissolve into their bodies through this process that we're going to do today. You guys are awesome. Enjoy this.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's good having Onell here. If you guys like Onell, I'll definitely have him back again. I think you guys do, though. I want to get him teaching some more. Yeah, the audio is probably terrible. So it might be the software running this mic. And we're outside, and I'm not close to the mic. So this mic's really designed for me to be pretty close to. Sometimes life sucks. It just goes that way. Well, what'd you see?
Kick some ass.
Kick some ass. Hey, kick some ass. Really quick, before I go,
Oh, you get him.
I'm going to unplug the mic really quick. The audio is going to go to shit. There we go. Can you hear me now, guys? Oh, what happened?
The camera?
Yeah, you just unplugged the camera.
Oh, sorry.
He just unplugged the camera, guys. I think
Sorry.
it'll come back. I'll turn it back on. Okay,
There we
guys.
go. We're back.
We accidentally unplugged the camera there. We're all over the place. I gotta turn that mic back on. Okay. Can you guys? Okay, good. You can hear me now. No.
Nope.
No. Just leave everything else plugged in. That is, you just unplugged the camera again.
Okay.
He's trying to help me, and he keeps unplugging my camera. Can you believe that? So I'm gonna pick this up.
Give me the space.
There we go. Okay, guys, so let's do this. This is, I'm going to turn this camera around. Here's the compound. See if we can get this operational.
I know you need to leave. Do you have time for do the testimonial?
So if you guys look here, this is all private compound that I rented for the event. You can see here's where we would eat dinner every night. If you look at this, we call this it's like a Robinson Crusoe treehouse or a treehouse. This is where everybody stays. See how beautiful that is? Oh, I'm bad with the camera here. I'm doing this off my laptop, guys. There's another unit over here on this side of it. The ocean is behind us now, so we go this way. Hey, guys, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Hey. You guys have fun this week?
Oh, amazing.
Nice. Hey, Rich, say hi.
Hi. Tremendous week.
Awesome. He's doing my quick commercial.
Yeah, I need jingle, maybe sing something.
There we go. He's going to do a song and dance. Oh, there we go. The actual musician has got a jingle already in his head. Okay. Hey, how you doing? I got a camera running. How are you?
Good. They're here to pick up Ohan.
Who?
I guess that's leaving for the airport.
Okay. Oh.
They're already at the door. I don't know if it's one of
no.
the people.
Oh,
No?
no. There's no. It has to be no.
Okay.
Awesome.
I don't know who he is, so they're at the door.
He's
waiting.
over here. I'll go grab him.
Yeah, so
No, actually, he was over there.
he's gonna go set up.
Okay, awesome. Okay, guys, you can see the mess I've got going here. This is the yoga space over here. And if we cut through here, over this way, that leads to a giant, basically cenote, which is a hole in the ground. That's basically like a freshwater lake they say is super healing. It's beautiful space, a lot of fun. And can you guys go get Onell and tell him his car's here? And that's pretty much it. Can one of you go get Onell and tell him his car's here? Yeah, his car's here to pick him up. So, and this is one more person I'll say hi to. This is Jack over here sitting down. He's the cook. He cooked amazing meals all week for everybody. So if you come to Tulum, hopefully you get to eat some of Jack's food at some point. Now, with that said, hopefully you guys had a good time and me fumbling around with the camera. And you guys are awesome. And remember, only the courageous really live. And we'll see you in the next video.